doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
Now, order up for Dustin.
I don't have any money. Whoa. What if somebody ordered pizza with their mind?
Actually, now there is a way to order pizza with your mind. With the new Domino's Mind Ordering app.
Welcome back, everyone. Fireworks that amounted to 4 runs in the first inning between the two teams, but nobody has a base hit yet. Each team has committed an error. Dawson Flowers, the starting pitcher, hit the first 3 batters he faced. The Demons are the 5th seed in the upcoming Southland Conference tournament. They will play Nichols at 1 o'clock on Thursday in Lake Charles. Team ERA of 5.02 is 3rd best in the Southland Conference.
And the Southland Conference this weekend, 2 sites for their conference tournament, one in Lake Charles, one in Hammond. McNeese, the conference champion, hosting 4 teams, and of course the Demons there is one of them, and then Southeastern over in Hammond, the number 2 seed, hosting another 4-team tournament, and the winners will play each other next week for 2 out of 3 of the lower seeds home field. So I like that format.
I do too. Campus sites on the both sides, and then they will the highest seed will host the next 2 out of 3, and that will determine the Southland Conference championship. All games available on ESPN Plus.
For mid-major programs, I think it makes more sense to have the conference tournament on campus sites versus some neutral field where maybe it's a nice professional ballpark but not as many fans. There's going to be big crowds this weekend in Hammond and Lake Charles, and I think that's really neat because both of those teams, of course, are playing well. They're top 2 seeds, and their fans are going to reward those programs with giant crowds.
Well, it also makes the regular season more meaningful because you're playing for literally a home court, so to speak.
And, you kind of get to simulate being in a regional, same format this weekend. So whoever comes out of the Southland Conference as the winner will go into regional week kind of almost having a dress rehearsal 2 weeks earlier.
Sorensen dribbles it down to the 3rd baseman, Collier Cranford. His throw is errant, and it forced Trey Morgan to stretch back toward the plate. And there's a misfire, and there'll be another error.
Well, Collier Cranford is in the lineup for one thing, and that is his defense. He is one of the better defenders for LSU, and that ball just sailed on him. He kind of threw it a little 3-quarter, and the ball tailed away from Morgan, who tried to grab it. He stretched out there, and ball hit off his glove. And you see the numbers. It has been a struggle all year long. Dead last in the SEC. How about that? 237th in Division I with 71 total errors on the year. Those are shocking numbers.
Inexplicably, many of those errors have been unforced, so to speak, on routine plays, as what we just saw. Morgan not only had to stretch awkwardly to try to field the throw, but he also was battling the sun down there at first base. This brings on Cam Sibley, the shortstop. Two balls and no strikes, and Jay Johnson is going to stroll out and call for the infield to converge on the mound.
You mentioned how it's been a strange year for LSU defensively, Lynn, and obviously the shortstop gets the focal point of that conversation. Everybody talks about Jordan Thompson because more balls are hit to short than any other position. Last year, he fielded 938. This year, he's fielding 883. That is a tremendous drop-off for a guy who, as a true freshman, showed some really tremendous flashes of being outstanding last year. And this year, for whatever reason, even though he's put in the effort and the offense has been good, the fielding has struggled. And it seems like it's been contagious on that infield.
Cam Sibley is the 4th most difficult hitter in the Southland Conference to strike out. So he's a guy who puts the ball in play most of the time. He's only struck out about once in every 8.5 at-bats.
You don't see this statistic very often. In 120 at-bats, he has 32 walks, 14 strikeouts.
Sibley has a runner in scoring position. Dutton is warming up for the Tigers.
158 plate appearances for Sibley, and he's only punched out 14 times.
The 2-1 pitch with a runner at second base. That's a breaking ball, and it's upstairs.
His on-base percentage, Cam Sibley, is almost just about double his batting average. For a guy who doesn't strike out much, he's only hit 208, but his on-base percentage is the second highest on the team at 394. Those are things you just don't see very often.
This is spanked out of play. A 3-ball, 2-strike count now with a runner at first base. It has been a very sloppy start for both sides. Collins delivers and he misses. So a strikeout, an error, and a base on balls. Sibley has just drawn his 33rd walk, and that's the most on the ball club. So Ronnie, he gets on base even though his batting average is less than impressive. And here's Jake Hayes. Jake walked and scored in the first. There's a fastball that divides the plate for a strike.
Life on it still, 92, down in the zone.
The Tigers have dropped out of the top 25 this week for the first time in a while with that 33-18 record and one game above 500 in the SEC. The overhand curve gets a piece of the strike zone.
Well, that gives you an idea of how good that was. Jake Hayes was completely full. Watch his reaction to the hitter as he thinks it's whoa inside, but it's not.
And then he kind of nods and said,
yep, you got me. That was the yep, you got me. You fooled me. Jake Hayes has not hit into a ground ball double play this year.
Runners at first and second. Hayes can't find the bender.
But he has struck out now 27 times on the season, and that was a really good one. This was the extra curveball. 1-2 count down in the dirt. Very nice job that time by McManus blocking it, not trying to pick it. Went down and blocked it.
Here's Dante Stewart, who grounded out to Doty last time. He is first pitch swinging. Collier Cranford gets up and fires and got him at first base. Cranford going well to his left, did a belly flop pickup and then quickly got into throwing position, and Stewart is retired on a very nice play by Cranford at third. So that retires the side. A couple of Demons left aboard, and we move to the bottom of the second inning with LSU.
Okay, snacks and popcorn are going to be expensive. Let's just accept that. Going to the movies can be a lot for young homeowners turning into their parents.
Bathrooms. Even if you don't have to go, you should try.
We all know where the bathroom is and how to use it. Okay?
You know, the Stevensons told me they save money bundling their boat insurance with Progressive.
No one knows who those people are. It can be painful.
And here comes, there's an extra seat right here.
No. We don't need a coat wrangler.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home, auto, and more with us.
No one who made the movies here.
Choosing T-Mobile is like paying for this, but getting that. And so much more. More 5G bars in more places. More savings so your family saves 20% versus the other guys. And we won't raise the price of your rate plan with our Price Lock Guarantee. Get more with T-Mobile. More 5G coverage, more savings, and even more cool stuff.
My name is Gary.
Pastel.
Josie, I have MS.
I have MS.
MS is what we have.
I take Ocrevus.
An infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
MS is what we have, not who we are.
Not who we are.
Not who we are. Ask if Ocrevus is right for you and join our community.
Three to 1, LSU leading. This will be the final regular season game in Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. And Ryan Olcheway is the new pitcher out of Saskatoon, Canada. A 6'3", 180-pounder.
You ever been there? I have. Saskatoon.
I have not.
Right near the middle part of Canada, kind of north of North Dakota, north of maybe Wyoming a little bit.
Olcheway is making only his third appearance. He's only thrown an inning in 2/3, and he's had no success so far. He misses to Josh Stevenson. Stevenson out of Youngsville, Louisiana. Collier Cranford is on deck. Stevenson fouls this one out of play. Thank you for being part of the audience tonight, wherever you may be watching, and on whatever device you may be favoring this evening. Olcheway brings it upstairs. The temperature got into the early 90s today, nearly record-setting in Baton Rouge. It's supposed to be 93 tomorrow. And as odd as it seems, it's only about a month before the days are going to start getting shorter again. That's a strike.
As you mentioned, Olcheway has not pitched much. It's only his third appearance of the year. And I think we're going to see a lot of Northwestern State pitchers with those types of numbers because clearly they're going to try to rest and save their frontline guys for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday over in Lake Charles. Try to keep their season alive. You got to win 4-team tournament, got to win to advance. And they're not going to take any chances of burning out any arms tonight.
The 3-2 pitch is high and away. Stevenson becomes a base runner. Let's look at the weather tonight. Wind out of the west at 7. Mostly sunny. You see some clouds off against the blue. 88 degrees right now. Ronnie, you talk about preserving your pitching staff. If you fall into the losers bracket and fight your way back out of that regional format, you are playing more games over the course of 3 days than you've played at any time this season.
Yeah, you could potentially play 5 games if you make it, lose the first one, go all the way through the end, win a game, and force that must-play final game.
Here's Cranford batting for the first time. Collier hitting 136. Cranford has 3 hits on the year. One of those was a triple. The runner moves up as the ball gets away. The wild pitch puts Stevenson at second base. We still have not had a base hit, but we've had 4 runs scored. LSU with 2 errors. Northwestern with 1. The bunt will move the runner easily. Cranford is thrown out by Jake Hayes at third base, but a very nice bunt to the left side. And Stevenson had no trouble strolling to third.
Well, the last 2 plays by Cranford is why he's in the lineup. 1, to get the bunt down, he's a good bunter, and then 2, the play going out of the inning defensively, where he laid out to his left, got up and threw a strike. That's why he's in there. With Berry out, they're going defense instead of offense to try to shore up some things. That's an interesting decision by Jay Johnson, because this team has been so offensive minded this year. 101.
4 batters have been hit in this game already. Pearson for the second time. The game started with LSU having been plunked 97 times, and it's all the way up to 101.
They might get there to that first spot before it's all said and done. You never know.
Here's Cruz. He was hit by a pitch in the first. And so was Morgan, who's on deck. 101 times LSU has been hit by a pitch this year. That's 2 a game. Ball 1 to Dylan Cruz. He has started all 52 games. LSU will finish with 55 in the regular season. Cruz rams one up the middle. It's the first base hit of the game. And Cruz collects the RBI, and LSU moves out in front 4-1.
Finally a hit. All those runs on the board, and that's the very first hit of the ball game. It was just a fastball thigh high, and he drove it right back up the middle.
Stevenson scored. Pearson stopped at second. And Cruz, who leads LSU with 69 base hits, has just garnered his 57th driven in. Here's Morgan. He's second on the team with 66 hits. He is first pitch swinging, and that will twist out of play on the left side. Pearson is at second base, Cruz on first, 4-1 LSU. This game will not matter at all in terms of how these teams are positioned at the end of the year. But it would be victory number 34 for the Tigers and victory number 26 for the Demons. That's high to Morgan. Morgan has been allowed to turn that right back pocket inside out tonight. Some umpires have made him put it the way it's supposed to be, but you can see the pocket flap there.
Well, it was out all of last year when he was a freshman All-American.
Some umpires have told him to put it in normal posture, because technically if a ball hits that pocket that's flapping there, that's considered hit by pitch. So it's not considered a normal uniform though. So that's why some umpires will tell him to put that pocket back the way it's supposed to be. Morgan lets that swing fly but can't find it.
You know, Morgan this year, 5 home runs in 51 games. Last year, Lynn, he had 6 home runs, but in 63 games. The numbers are a little bit down, but still very good. Hitting .314 on the year. 41 RBI. That's only one off from what he did all last season.
Runners on the move, and a line drive up the middle will score at least one. Morgan delivers a sharp single up the middle. You could hang laundry on that liner. And Trey Morgan extends the lead as Pearson scored from second base and Cruz scampered to third.
Boy, I mean, that ball was tattooed. It looked like a stream of milk just going right back up the middle at you. And that ball, I'd love to see what the exit velocity was on that one. That's got to be 107, 110, something big time. He's now 42 RBI on the year, same numbers he had a season ago, but 12 fewer games.
Do you have the SEC numbers available to you on Morgan? And the reason I ask is last year he hit nearly 400 against SEC pitching as a freshman. We'll check that. Here's Cade Doty. Doty, the redshirt sophomore out of Denham Springs. McManus is on deck. Doty lifts this one out of play straight back. And by virtue of no ball hitting roof sound, evidently that made it all the way behind the grandstand and into the parking lot area. Doty collected an RBI when he reached on an error back in the first. LSU with 3 in that frame and 2 in the second. It's a 5-1 Tiger lead. Doty's hit by a pitch. 5 times already LSU has drawn a pitch from Flowers or Ochoa. Wow. Goodness gracious. It's 102 times now LSU has been plunked.
There's going to be a line to get into the ice bathtub after the game. You know, the guy's just going, hey, when you're done, let me know. I got to get in there for the bruises.
So far, no tempers have flared. There is nobody in the bullpen for the Demons. So Olcheway will get a little visit here, and then he will return. Now it appears that there's a little bit of stirring around in that bullpen on the left side. Will Hine is a left-hander. He might be next for the Demons. He's a senior out of Benton, Louisiana, by way of Bossier Parish Community College.
Well, you asked Lynn what Trey Morgan's, I know it's been a minute, took me a minute to find it. 274 is Trey Morgan's batting average in SEC play this year. What is that, about 100 less?
At least.
A year ago?
Yeah, he was up in the 390s last year, I believe. 274 is not bad, but it was remarkable what he did against SEC pitching last year. McManus swings and lifts it foul, out of play. 2 strikes. Olcheway came on to pitch the second inning. McManus is 1 for 6 this year with the bases loaded. Ronnie, we spoke about it briefly in our last telecast, but McManus, of course, transferring over from Samford, and he was roommates with Auburn's first baseman, Sonny DeShera, who's at the top of just about every offensive category in the SEC. But DeShera hit third for Samford last year. McManus hit fourth, and they were roommates in college. Five runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for LSU. 1 run, no hits, 1 error for the Demons in a very slow-paced beginning. The pitch, breaking ball, and that's high and inside.
So he almost a hit batter right there. He tried. What LSU? What, 102? 102, and so the #1 team in the country is Purdue. They have 108 hit by pitches. That's Gordy Rush's old school. And then the #2 team in the country is Southeastern over in Hammond with 105. But LSU may catch him before the night's over with.
A liner to right center field. That's down for a base hit. It is cut off by the center fielder. 1 Tiger scores. 2 Tigers score. On a long, ringing single by Tyler McManus, it produces 2 more runs. And LSU is pouring it on in the first couple of innings with 3 base hits in this frame.
Well, Tyler McManus has really found his stroke the last about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And right there, got a 2-2 fastball, nothing fancy, and just barreled it up and hit it hard to right center. And he has been one of the hottest Tigers over the last 30 days.
Well, a month ago, he was hitting .214. And he came into this game, McManus, hitting .288. Braden Jobert bounced out to the first baseman unassisted last time. Runners on the corners. Only 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike to the LSU designated hitter. He is the 8th Tiger to come to the plate. And if he stays out of a double play, LSU will bat around with Jordan Thompson on deck. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 2nd inning, and we are an hour into it. The Southland Conference actually will start its championship tournament proceedings this week. Of course, LSU will start next week. The Tigers go to Nashville for 3 games against Vanderbilt on Thursday. They will not come home. They will play in Nashville Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then go on to Hoover for the SEC tournament. They will fly out tomorrow and get a workout in under the lights tomorrow night in Nashville. Left fielder Elkins is calling for it. He's got it. The runner at third tags, and there will be no throw. A sacrifice fly by Jobert. Doty scampers home, and LSU adds to its lead.
Definitely a wild game. There's been 9 runs scored, only 3 hits in the game. Tigers have scored 8 and had only 3 hits. That's not normal.
And those 3 hits have come in this inning. Here's Jordan Thompson, who struck out in the first.
This game was expected to get out of hand because of the fact that it was well known that Northwestern State was going to throw a lot of down-the-line pitching, guys that haven't thrown much at all this year because of their conference tournament this weekend. But that's what we're seeing right now early on.
Well, I've got a philosophical question I want to pose to you next inning. I want your opinions, Ronnie Rance, on the fact that 3 SEC teams have canceled games here at the end of the year. Missouri and Kansas won't play. Ole Miss and Arkansas State won't play. And Incarnate Word out of the Southland Conference was scheduled to play Texas A&M, and that game's not going to be held.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. I can't believe that those schools are doing that. And it's going to be interesting to see if it's held against Texas A&M. They're the case that everybody's talking about because Texas A&M is a 20 RPI right now. They're on the bubble for hosting a regional. And they were taking on an Incarnate Word program that's RPI is in the high hundreds, almost 200. And if A&M, if they played the game, win or lose, their RPI was going to fall. Obviously, if you lose, it fall more than if you won. And so that says 2 things. One, there's a problem with the system where you get docked for playing a game, winning it, and your RPI falls. If anything, it should stay the same. But
agreed.
But the thing is that that's just not the right thing to do.
Agreed.
I mean, LSU's RPI is going to fall tonight playing a Northwestern State team that's RPI's in the 200s. But it's one, you come to college to get an education and to play baseball, and you want to play games. And so if there's a game to be played, you play it, and it's also the right thing to do for both schools and for the fans and everybody that bought season tickets. And I'm surprised that Texas A&M did what they did, and will be interesting to see if the selection committee, if it comes into play, holds it against them.
It also will be interesting to see if there's any
new rules
legislation
that
comes conference-wide or even from the NCAA.
This is the first time that I've heard of it. Not to say it never happened before somewhere, but this is the first time that it's gotten all of this attention around the country, and it's negative attention.
So based on that discussion that we both had, and I agree with you completely, we're not going to visit this next inning, right? I mean, I was going to hold that till next inning, but I kind of let the cat out of the bag.
You just couldn't help yourself. Feel like a kid at Christmas. Didn't want to wait. You know, you're the open presents on Christmas Eve kind of guy. I mean,
no, I'm not. Nuh-uh. I never did that. Mainly because I only had one and wanted to save it. And that was usually rotten potatoes or coal in the stocking. You know my best Christmas present ever?
What was it?
Was a Fred Lynn.
Ooh, I had a baseball.
Fred Lynn
baseball?
No. Glove.
They had the glove?
A Freddie Lynn glove back in the 60s. I've still got it.
I think the first
got it.
The first wood bat I ever had was a Fred Lynn model with his name on the barrel.
That's a foul ball.
Did your family wrap the presents, or was the Santa's presents come unwrapped?
No, we were a wrapper.
Okay, because that's always a big discussion, debate. Does Santa wrap the presents, or does Santa just put them out, all together?
Well, sometimes it was in an A&P shopping bag, but
A&P. I haven't heard of that one in a while. I think they were orange and brown was the colors of the
I can't remember.
Ooh, did he swing? He swung and it hit him.
And that's going to be a strikeout.
I've seen that in softball a few times, but I don't know if I've seen it in baseball.
You've just seen it now, and it ends the inning. The Tigers bat around and get 5 on 3 base hits, and we move forward. It's 8-1.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast is patiently seasoned in a dry rub, including Guajillo chili pepper and brown sugar. Then, slow roasted over real mesquite wood. Your pre-packaged turkey plans? Well, they just went up in smoke. Bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken. Literally, the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well. So there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
Phones for I can.
Well, here comes the sack race. These contestants, the guy in gold leaning. Oh, that's a nice effort. Nice effort as he goes tumbling, come a cropper. He looked like Rich Strike in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
I mean, he was not favored.
Yeah, but Rich Strike came from behind. Everybody was worried about the favorites, and he ran the rail right to the end.
The favorite is ahead in this game. It's 8-1, LSU leading. Hayden Travinski is now catching for LSU. So Travinski replaces McManus, who delivered a base hit and a couple of runs driven in the second inning. He also had a first inning ground out for an RBI. So McManus leaves 1 for 2 with 3 driven in, and Travinski is catching.
You know that Rich Strike, the horse you referenced that won the Derby, he's not going to run in the Preakness.
I saw that.
Everybody's freaking out because there's not going to be a Triple Crown opportunity.
But he will run in the 1.5-mile race.
Yeah,
the Belmont. Coliani at the plate. He struck out last time. And Collins, after missing 3 times, finds the strike zone. Elkins and Willis will follow. We are in the Demon third. That's high, ball 4. And Collins has not been particularly sharp with 3 walks now, 1 in each inning. And he's hit a batter. He has struck out 2. He has not allowed a base hit. Elkins was hit by a pitch in the first. You know, I've just been notified that today is National Mimosa Day, and I'm not talking about the tree.
It's a pretty good day. You know, there's a mimosa in a can. I saw that the other day.
That's champagne and orange juice, is it not?
That's it?
A mimosa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Like, I think Abita has one. They came out with one, a mimosa in a can. I have to try it tonight in honor of Mimosa Day.
National Mimosa Day. The 0-2 pitch is upstairs.
I thought every Sunday brunch was National Mimosa Day. Did you see the video of the lady the other day over in England? She had so many mimosas at brunch. She dropped her jacket off the back of a booth and she bent over to get it, got stuck in the back of the booth upside down. They had to get like 3 people to get her out of the wall.
I don't watch the same channels you do. Now, I only knew it was National Mimosa Day because there were 3 up in age, genteel Southern women who were parked under one of the oak trees. As I walked by, they were mixing this concoction. They had their feet up, had a fan going, a battery-operated fan. This is hit high. It's hit deep. Way back in left center field it goes. And that's a demon dinger. Number 12 for Elkins.
Well, he and Bo Willis had a little friendly competition going. They both had 11 coming into the game, and that Elkins blast gives them 12 now to take the lead. And he sure got all of it. Belt tie fastball, and he knew he got it. It kind of gave the little flip, and Elkins in his 5th year, only a junior, gave that one a ride.
And LSU will make a pitching change as Samuel Dutton is first out of the bullpen for the Tigers. And we will step aside momentarily. It's 8-3.
Choosing T-Mobile is like paying for this, but getting that. And so much more. More 5G bars in more places. More savings so your family saves 20% versus the other guys. And we won't raise the price of your rate plan with our price lock guarantee. Get more with T-Mobile. More 5G coverage, more savings, and even more cool stuff.
My name is Gary.
Pastel.
Josie. I have MS.
I have MS.
MS is what we have.
I take Ocrevus.
An infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
MS is what we have.
Not who we are.
Not who we are.
Not who we are. Ask if Ocrevus is right for you and join our community.
Here's the rookie right-hander out of Southside, Alabama, Samuel Dutton. Dutton has a 1-1 record. This is his 16th appearance, 2.94 ERA in 33 2/3 innings. He has not allowed a hit per inning, 29 in those 33, 25 strikeouts, 12 walks. Samuel Dutton, one of those guys that factors in the future to be a mainstay in the LSU rotation.
Well, you know, an interesting situation for Dutton this past Sunday that everybody was talking about. He got the start in Game 3 against Ole Miss. He threw 1 pitch. He hung a breaking ball. A double was hit off the wall. And Jay Johnson made a pitching change to bring in Hasty, the left-hander. And the whole idea of starting Dutton on paper was so that Mike Bianco and the Ole Miss coaching staff would load the lineup with lefties to counter the righty starter. They put 5 lefties in there. And so they put Dutton on the mound, and then they thought they'd bring in Hasty to kind of trick him a little bit. Well, didn't work out necessarily for LSU, so Dutton only threw one pitch. He's got to get some work to get ready to possibly start on Saturday or at least be available in relief. Now you see Jacob Hasty, who did a nice job out of the bullpen. I would not be surprised if he wasn't one of your starting pitchers either Friday or Saturday in Nashville.
Now there's Jacob Hasty in the middle of your picture, and he has really emerged the last month after just being idle because he couldn't throw strikes early in the season. Jacob Hasty, though, has suddenly become a very critical and important part of this LSU pitching rotation. Here's Bo Willis.
And Bo Willis has been, as we mentioned in the open, red hot. Picked up his batting average 50 points in the last few weeks.
And he hits this one deep to center field. Cruz is backpedaling. He is near the dirt and makes the catch as he steps on the warning track. Bo Willis hit it about 390 feet, but to straightaway center field, and Cruz, who seems to improve defensively every game, was able to track that one down. That's the first out of the inning. Gray Rowlett fouled out to the starting pitcher McManus.
Rowlett, part of the Northwestern State, a little legacy here. His dad, Brannon, played linebacker for the Demons, and his grandfather, Ed Drangy, played baseball for Northwestern State, and his mom, Marilyn, was a student worker in the athletic department back in the day. So there's a lot of family with ties to Natchitoches.
Rowlett is the Demon first baseman. Rowlett out of Keller, Texas. 2 runs home on Jeffrey Elkins' long home run over the left center field wall. And 1 out on a deep fly ball by Bo Willis to the center fielder.
94 on that heater by Dutton. Of course, he's got a fresh arm. Only threw the 1 pitch in the last about 9 days. So he's probably chomping at the bit to get some work in.
That's bounced up the middle for a base hit. 2 long hops and it skips through the infield, and Rowlett collects his first base hit. And the second one of the night for NSU.
Yeah, 93 miles an hour, but you saw how the fastball, it wanted to hit the corner. Instead, it leaked back right over to the heart of the plate. And Rowlett made him pay for the mistake. Rowlett's a good-looking freshman player for the Demons.
Here's Larson Fontenot. He struck out his first time. He's from Santa Maria, Louisiana. 5 homers this year. He's driven in 29. He's one of the Demons' leading hitters at 287. Stravinsky sets up, and that's lined into left field. Whacked in a hurry through the left side. Stevenson gets it back to the infield. Runners at first and second. And the Demons have come out here in the 3rd inning to produce a couple of runs and have a chance to get more.
And Fontenot right there just was perfectly timed on that fastball. He had a good swing on it. Knew it was coming. Even though it was up and in, he was able to get on top of it.
You know, Ronnie, I'm trying to go back through the mists of time, and I believe that Northwestern State was the first team in Louisiana to have turf installed. Now, it was used carpet actually from the Saints and the Superdome, but years and years ago, the infield was carpeted with the used carpet from the Superdome.
Yeah, that was back in the 80s, right?
I think so.
Yeah, definitely in the 80s. I don't know if he went for that. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think that is the first team that had turf. And now, lots of schools, have turf. And Southeastern has a turf infield. Nichols has turf. McNeese has turf. Now, LSU's actually going to play in the turf this weekend. They're going to play up in Tulane, of course, has turf as well. But LSU will play up in Nashville, and Vandy's whole field is turf, not just the infield.
A breaking ball slides wide to Balin Sorensen. He's out of Rayville, Louisiana, up in the northeast part of the state. Sorensen reached on Cranford's error in the second inning. That's that upper part of the strike zone strike.
LSU actually is partially turfed. All of the foul territory here at Alex Box Stadium is the fake stuff. Even though it blends in nicely and looks very natural, that's artificial.
That's a borderline pitch, and Sorensen gets the decision to go his way. The 3-2 pitch. A call third strike. That had a little twist to it at the end, and Sorensen is called out.
Yeah, Sorensen batting only 177, and I can assure you when it was 3-2, he was not expecting a breaking ball. He thought he was going to get the heater. It buckled him. It was in the lower region of the zone, but it just caught the knee.
So that's the second out of the inning. Runners remain at first and second, and here is Cam Sibley, the Northwestern shortstop, hitting ninth. He drew a base on balls from Collins in the second. Dutton misses high and away.
Start calling Cam Sibley, who, by the way, played his high school ball for Chris Scheck-Snyder over at Dutchtown High. About a 20-minute drive from Alex Box Stadium, and then went to Panola College before ending up in Natchitoches. But I'm going to call him Mr. Patient because he is the walk master. He's got about almost 3-to-1 walks to strikeouts.
So I think it might be safe to say that Cam Sibley has seen more pitches than any other Demon this year.
Yep.
Northwestern got one in the first. LSU scored 3 in the first. Neither team had a base hit in the first inning. LSU romped for 5 runs on 3 hits in the second inning. And the Demons followed a walk to Coliani with an Elkins home run to get 2 runs in the third. And we are coming up on nearly an hour and a half in the top of the third inning. 11 runs, 6 hits between the teams, and 3 errors. And 6 hit batsmen, too.
Yep.
This is hit high, and it's hit deep. Pearson backs up. He's at the wall. He leaps. He can't get it. It's a home run for Cam Sibley. It's his 3rd of the year. And Cam Sibley measured that one into the right field bleachers. The Demons have provided a couple of home runs here in this inning to account for 5 runs.
Boy, that's got to be a thrill for Cam Sibley with all his friends and family in attendance here. He got all of this one. I mean, that ball's not hit like a guy who only hit 2 home runs on the year. He knew he got it. That's about 5 rows deep in the right field. He gives a little point to his friends and fam in the stands.
So a 2-run homer by Elkins, a 1 better than that home run by Cam Sibley. 5 in the inning, and we've got an 8-6 game. Dutton recovers, slings it over to first base. Hayes and Northwestern State are retired in the third. 2 home runs in the inning. We will leave you for a moment with the Jeffrey Elkins home run deep over the left center field wall. That was the first of 2 in the frame. And after 2.5.
At Metro by T-Mobile, you can live stream with 5G and share how you're conquering the cook-off. Upgrade to 1 line of unlimited 5G for just $40, period. Taxes and fees included. Save more with unlimited 5G, only at Metro.
Like pulsing electric shocks, sharp stabbing pains, or an intense burning sensation. What is this nightmare? It's how some people describe shingles, a painful blistering rash that can interrupt your life for weeks. Forget social events and weekend getaways. If you've had chickenpox, the virus that causes shingles is already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie, a couple of home runs for Northwestern State in the third. That's the 50th as a team for the Demons this year. And Will Hine, a senior left-hander out of North Louisiana's Benton, is a 6'4", 215-pound left-hander.
Well, all of a sudden, an 8-1 ball game turned into an 8-6 game, and some life by the Demons. You see Hine, only his 6th appearance of the year. He's worked only 4 2/3 innings, but now he gets an opportunity to pitch in somewhat of a close game here now. Demons have cut it to 2, and Will Hine will be asked to try to go as long as he can.
Did I hear it correctly that those 50 home runs now are the most that have been hit under Bobby Barbier in his
correct.
6th season?
God, it's already 6 years. It's amazing that he's already been in Natchitoches 6 years.
He's done a nice job there, and they have rewarded him with a new contract. Gervais is loosening up in the LSU bullpen. Josh Stevenson waves at the first one.
You know, Will Hine in the media guide under personal, Lynn, his life ambition, and you should take note of this, Lynn. His life ambition is to live every day to the fullest and be positive. We all should take a little Will Hine with us in the morning.
What makes you think I don't? Stevenson lets the 0-2 pitch go, and that's 1-2.
Will Hine pitched a couple of years at Bossier Parish Community College up in Shreveport. Bossier struck out 55 in 48 1/3 innings his sophomore year.
Stevenson takes a full cut but misses, and after walking in the 2nd inning, he strikes out in the 3rd.
Good slider by Mr. Positive Will Hine.
LSU struck out a lot against Ole Miss. In fact, they averaged double-figure strikeouts in those 3 games over the weekend.
Here we go. Here we go, Mr. Berry.
Jacob Berry has a bat in his hands for Collier Cranford, and this is the first time in a while that Jacob Berry has seen action for LSU.
Well, he's hitting right-handed, and we were told that it doesn't hurt him when he swings right-handed. Now, Jacob Berry, before the injury, led the SEC in hitting in SEC games, batting average in the 390s, which is amazing.
Let's look at those SEC numbers. A 395 batting average, 5 homers, 19 driven in, and 16 times he has crossed the plate. Berry last played on May 6th at Alabama. He was 2 for 5 in that game. And he draws a base on balls. So it will be interesting to see if Berry returns to his third base defensive position. Berry now has reached base safely 29 straight games. That's a team high.
Well, that was, good for Berry to see some live pitching, get in there and get some timing down and see if they, I don't know if they're going to keep him in the game or, probably not, I guess.
He's still at first base, though.
Yeah, but I can't imagine he's going to stay in the game defensively unless, we saw the bandage on his throwing hand. It doesn't make sense that he would be able to throw the ball, but nonetheless, good for him to dust the cobwebs off in some game action. And
he's got that protective device on his right hand. I would think if he weren't going to stay in the game defensively, they would pinch run for him. There he moves up on the wild pitch. That ball almost hit Pearson. He's been hit twice already. Pearson takes a whack and gets a little piece of it. 2 balls and a strike, 1 out. Berry at second base after drawing a base on balls from Will Hine. Will Hine is the third Demon pitcher. Flowers win an inning. Olcheway win an inning. And now Hine. 8-6 is the score. Northwestern actually has more base hits than LSU at 4-3. The Tigers sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning. They sent 9 to the plate in the second inning. They've got a runner aboard at second base with 1 out in the third. Pearson waits for the 3-1 pitch. That's high and inside, ball 4. Hine has walked 2 batters here in the third inning after striking out Stevenson.
Now Josh Pearson has reached base 3 times and hasn't hardly swung the bat. He's been hit twice and drew a walk. But that's good for the Tigers because they've got the guy they want at the plate, their best hitter.
Dylan Cruz has been hit by a pitch, and he scored in the first. He had an RBI single and scored in the second.
Let me correct that. Best healthy hitter.
Cruz hits it on a couple of hops to the third baseman. He steps on the bag for the force, but has no chance for a second out throw. I wonder if, in retrospect, if Hayes might be wondering, should I have gone to second base?
He probably should have. That ball was hit hard enough to where if he'd have gone to second, they had a chance at 2.
This brings on Morgan with teammates at second and first and 2 gone. Trey has been hit by a pitch, and he also followed that with an RBI single. LSU is seeking its 34th win of the year. Morgan wraps one sharply up the middle. That will score at least one run. And Trey Morgan, like he did last time, hits a streamer into center field for a base hit. Pearson scores from second. Cruz stops at second.
Boy, Morgan, that's the second hit tonight. They both kind of looked very similar. I mean, just bullets right back up the middle. That one was a little closer to the ground, but he is seeing it well and swinging a very hot stick. We showed you that in the open, how I think he's kind of getting used to playing with that thing. You know, at first the brace on his knee was a little bulky, and it just takes some getting used to, but it has not slowed him down the last couple of weeks. It's rare we say here's a guy that's got to get it going, but that's the case with Cade Doughty. The batting average around it's at 289 right now. It wasn't that long ago. It was around 340. And he has been so good over the last couple of seasons for LSU, particularly in clutch moments. But even more so with Berry not 100%, not in the lineup fully, they need Cade Doughty to get things turned around offensively.
If you just joined us, Jacob Berry did get an at-bat. Earlier in the inning, he drew a base on balls and was eventually forced at third. So we will see if he stays in the game at third base. He pinch hit for Cranford.
That was a little cutter by Hine. That was a good one, too. It was hard, 84.
Two-hopper to the shortstop is turned into an out at second base, and the inning is done. But Trey Morgan sends a sizzler back from whence it came and drives in Pearson. The Tigers have scored in their first 3 innings and lead it 9-6 over the Northwestern Demons.
My name is Gary.
Pastel. Josie. I have MS.
I have MS.
MS is what we have.
I take Ocrevus.
An infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
MS is what we have.
Not who we are.
Not who we are.
Not who we are. Ask if Ocrevus is right for you and join our community.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast is patiently seasoned in a dry rub, including Guajillo chili pepper and brown sugar. Then, slow roasted over real mesquite wood. Your pre-packaged turkey plans? Well, they just went up in smoke. Bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
LSU has made a couple of defensive changes in a 9-6 game. The Tigers are leading Northwestern State. Paul Gervais is the new pitcher. Gervais out of North Carolina, 6'10", lean as a Lance right-hander. 2-1 record, an ERA of 2.43, 29 2/3 innings, 44 strikeouts. He's only allowed 14 hits, and he has walked 11. And I doubt Gervais will throw more than an inning here. Do you?
I think this is just get some work in. It's also a good shutdown point. for LSU to try to put a 0 on the board. LSU's playing on Thursday this week, and it being Tuesday, I can't imagine they're going to want him to throw more than one. New third baseman, Drew Bianco in there. So Barry got to bat and run, but obviously with the bandage still in his throwing hand, Drew Bianco's in the game for him.
Collins went 2 innings and gave up 3 runs, 2 earned on only 1 hit. Dutton pitched an inning and was touched for a couple of home runs. Actually, Collins gave up a home run before he was lifted, and then Dutton came on, and Cam Sibley hit a 3-run homer. Stewart can't catch up with that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is the first time this year the Demons have seen an elongated pitcher like Paul Gervais. 6 feet 10 inches tall. That's a little bit wide. It's off the outside corner. There is a wind blowing towards center field. As darkness descends, and there you see Old Glory and her teammates. Stewart out of the Woodlands, Texas, a suburb of Houston. 3-2, Gervais pitching to his first batter. Coliani and Elkins are next. LSU with 3 in the first and 5 in the second and 1 in the third. The Demons scored 1 in the first and 5 in the third inning.
Now, where would LSU bullpen be without Gervais? He has been sensational this year. And the 6'10" righty. It says 92 on the gun, and you see it there on the screen, but that does not tell you the whole story. Coming out of that 6'10" frame with the long reach, and it just gets on you as a hitter just faster than it does out of some other pitcher's hand that might be 6 foot tall.
Coliani walked ahead of the Elkins home run in the third. He struck out in the first. He's first pitch swinging and lifts it out of play. Northwestern will play in Lake Charles on Thursday against Nichols at 1 o'clock. That'll be the opener in the Southland Conference Championship Tournament. And that's only half of the story. The other half will be played in Hammond. The 2 teams that survive the Lake Charles quote regional and the Hammond quote regional will meet the following weekend at the highest seeds field in a 2 out of 3 series to determine the Southland Conference Tournament Championship. Those games will be available on ESPN Plus. The 0-2 pitch to Coliani. That missed by a whisker. Each team has 4 hits. So we've got 15 runs produced already in this game on only 8 hits. The 1-2. Misses outside. Ronnie, I've got a Major League Baseball bulletin. The Houston Astros have just set a record tonight.
Okay.
They had 5 home runs in 1 inning against the same pitcher.
My goodness.
They are playing Boston.
That's hard to do for so many reasons. 5 homers in an inning is an unbelievably rare feat, but even more so, it came off of the same pitcher. I guess Boston just didn't want to get anybody else in there. I got to believe if I was the pitcher after the 3rd one, I might have to call the coach out to the mound. Like, hey, it's just something's not working tonight, coach.
It's 13-4. The Astros are leading in the 6th inning. 5 home runs in the same inning against the same pitcher by Houston against Boston. That's the first time it's ever occurred in Major League Baseball history.
I'm guessing whoever it was hit off of is really good. That the fact that they left him out there for 5. That pitch down and away, and right, it's a pitcher's pitch.
So Gervais has fanned Stewart and Coliani. And here comes Elkins, who's been hit by a pitch. And last time he hit one out of the ballpark in deep left center field. His 12th home run of the year. He now holds Demon leadership in that category. And this time he drops a single into center field. So Elkins has been aboard 3 times. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st.
Elkins having quite the day. Homer and then a sizzling liner.
With 2 outs, it brings up the DH Bo Willis, who's over 2. Willis hit the ball to the warning track in center field last time. He's 1 home run behind Elkins with 11. Willis out of Magnolia, Texas. The outfield plays him slightly to the opposite side, maybe 2 or 3 steps, and a few steps deeper than normal. Runner is on the move. Travinski's throw bounces in, and the runner is safe. So Elkins, with 2 outs, swipes second base. He gets into scoring position. That is his 7th stolen base of the season in 9 attempts.
Well, LSU will see that a good bit this weekend. That's why there's a lot of talk and rumor and speculation. It's sort of like Elvis sightings when it comes to Milazzo, the catcher for the Tigers. Everybody's been whispering for weeks, hey, this is the week he comes back. Well, now I hear next week he may come back. And Milazzo is clearly the best defensive catcher. He's a tremendous thrower of the baseball. But right now, Travinski and McManus are tasked with figuring out a way this coming weekend to shut down a potent rushing attack by Vanderbilt that they'll face in Nashville.
The 1-2 pitch. Sweeps a little bit outside. There were reports, as it turns out unfounded, that Milazzo would get some playing time tonight and would be the starter.
Right.
We are told that he is progressing, that he might be available for Vanderbilt, and then probably, in quotes, be available for the SEC tournament. Then again, we've heard that on a couple of occasions this year, so we shall see. But he is making progress. Willis strikes out. It's the 3rd strikeout for Paul Gervais coming out of the bullpen in the 4th. And we move forward with LSU out in front of Northwestern State 9.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast is patiently seasoned in a dry rub, including Guajillo chili pepper and brown sugar. Then, slow roasted over real mesquite wood. Your prepackaged turkey plans? Well, they just went up in smoke. bold Pitcraft slow smoked turkey breast. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Making friends again, Billy?
I like to keep my enemies close.
Guys, excuse me. I didn't quite get that. I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, hey, don't forget about the tense music, too.
Would you say tense?
I'd say suspenseful.
Aren't they the same thing?
Can we move on, guys? Please.
Alexa, turn on the subtitles. And dim the lights. Okay, dimming the lights.
Like pulsing electric shocks, sharp stabbing pains, or an intense burning sensation. What is this nightmare? It's how some people describe shingles, a painful blistering rash that can interrupt your life for weeks. Forget social events and weekend getaways. If you've had chickenpox, the virus that causes shingles is already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
We play in the bottom of the fourth inning. LSU out in front 9-6, despite being out hit 5-4. Sibley has a 3-run home run. Elkins has a 2-run home run. The Demons are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. McManus has driven in 3. Morgan is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a couple of RBI. And already LSU has been hit 5 times by Demon pitchers. There have also been 3 walks, so that's 8 courtesy runners, if you will. And Donovan Onutka, a senior out of Natchitoches, becomes the third reliever. Flowers started, Olchenay, and then Hine, and now Onutka. 1-3 record, a 9+ ERA, 19 1/3 innings, 20 hits, 17 walks. That's been a big problem. And 14 strikeouts. Here's Hayden Travinski batting for the first time. He came into the game for McManus in the top of the inning.
Been a strange year for Onutka, Lynn. You know, he's only got one. He's 1-3 on the year. He's got 10 appearances. He's had 4 starts, but the ERA is high in the 9s. And this is a guy in 2022 was a preseason All-Southland Conference second-team starting pitcher. So, has not been the year that he had hoped for. Made 16 appearances with 7 starts a year ago. But tonight, he's an inning eater for the Demons.
Travinski chops one to the left side. That's a foul ball off of the batter. Tonight's action coming your way on the SEC ESPN Network. Ronnie Rance and Lynn Rollins, delighted to be with you. And Ronnie, this is an appropriate time for us to publicly recognize the crew of 21 that comes out every night during the course of a 9-month sports season with LSU-produced television. Ooh, that's plucked very nicely by the first baseman Rowlett on a challenging throw from the shortstop Cam Sibley.
Good stretch, good pick. That was well done. Watch right here, ball high chopper. Sibley spikes it a little bit, and Rowlett shows some limberness over there for the big fella.
That's his best imitation of Trey Morgan. But our guys and gals, 21 strong, starting with soccer and volleyball and women's basketball and men's basketball and gymnastics and softball and baseball, and providing much material to the SEC Network and ESPN, and originating 50 or so broadcasts every season for the 8th straight year now. They deserve a great deal of credit. This ball is crushed. Way back it goes. Does it get over the wall? Yes, it did. It bounced back in the field of play, but it is a home run for Braden Jobert. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. And it's been a while since Braden Jobert has taken all 4 bases on one swing.
Well, that's got to feel good for Braden Jobert. He got hit in the first inning when he was just sitting around the dugout watching Northwestern State hit. Then he hits a foul ball off his ankle. So it's been a rough night, but that one felt good. He got all of it. A liner. This wasn't your big towering homer. This is one that just gets over the fence, but it was hit hard. Right off the back of the fence. That chain link fence is maybe about 2 feet or so behind the wall.
His last home run was back on April 23rd. It's been 3 weeks. That came against Missouri. Home run number 13, a baker's dozen for Braden Jobert. Tigers could really benefit if Jobert can find the power stroke that he had going so well in the first month of the season.
Well, they need all hands on deck, right? While they're waiting for Superman Jacob Berry to come back. There's a nice hit by Thompson. And Jobert, the former Delgado Dolphin, that had to feel good. Maybe that'll get him back going. And speaking of Delgado, they're here. Always recruits a lot of their players and follows them. Well, one of the teams that they're facing is Eastern Oklahoma at 4 o'clock on Friday. And Eastern Oklahoma has an LSU signee who's their #1 starter, a big-time arm. Nate Ackenhausen. He's going to pitch against them this week.
Here's Josh Stevenson. He has walked and struck out. He also has scored a run. Jordan Thompson followed a couple of strikeouts with a slasher single to left field. A run in on Braden Jobert's 13th home run of the season. Onutka leans over. Comes to the belt and brings it. That's a high strike, a breaking pitch. The wind is blowing out towards center and right center right now with a little more oomph than we've seen earlier.
Yeah, that's quite the wind. Onutka on the mound. Last year with the COVID rules and the fact that the Southland Conference, when they got only played the 4-game series on the weekend, he actually was one of the starters. He was that guy who threw the 4th game. And at the start of the year, he went 17 1/3 scoreless innings. So it's been an amazing year from one to the next. He was a guy last year for the Demons on the come up, and that's why he was a preseason second-team All-Southland Conference selection going into this year, but it just hasn't come together for him. He's one of those 6-year super seniors because redshirted in 2017, and this is his 6th season on a college campus.
Stevenson is facing the 2-2 pitch. The runner is on the move. The pitch is inside and dropped by Sorensen, and that'll be a stolen base for Jordan Thompson. We talked earlier about Northwestern State sporting the first artificial surface on a baseball field. Kind of coincidentally, and also coming from the Superdome, there'll be new turf on the Demon football field this year.
That's cool.
Now, they change it out in the NFL quite frequently, and it's virtually in brand new shape. So the Demons will be playing on Superdome turf this fall.
Yeah,
in Turpin Stadium.
I saw them laying it out a couple of weeks ago, and excited about the free to the public Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Kids Clinic is going to be this summer on that turf in June. 300 campers. Hall of Fame weekend with Kyle Williams and Jari Evans and all those guys going to be testing out that new Superdome turf.
Here's Drew Bianco batting for the first time. That hit in front of the plate by a couple of feet, and a good stop by Sorensen.
This past Sunday they had senior day. They held the the guys that all graduated, guys have been here, and Drew Bianco got honored along with many of his teammates. But it was unique because his dad was there in the Ole Miss uniform in the LSU parent line being honored. And after the game, when he talked to the media about it, Mike Bianco got very emotional, talking about how much that meant to be with his son on senior day, able to be there. And it was special for, obviously, his mom and dad. And kind of tells me that this might be it for Drew Bianco. He's got another year of eligibility, but went through senior day. The fact that dad got so emotional talking about it, I wonder if, in fact, he may elect to hang it up after this season. Who knows?
The 1-1 pitch. Inside. Let's go back a few days. There's Mike Bianco in the blue uniform and taking the family picture.
That's a pretty cool moment. You know, that's so bizarre, right? To see the opposing coach in the home side being honored with the parents. It's a one-of-a-kind moment.
Now, he's got a sibling who's playing college baseball too, right? One is at Louisville.
Well, he's had, one played at Louisville, and then the other was over in Lafayette to start his career originally.
The 2-2 to Drew Bianco. Did that hit him? Yes, it did. It got the elbow. That's the 6th Tiger that's been hit today. So LSU is up to what, 103 now? LSU came into the game having been hit 97 times, and that total is 103 now.
They've actually, he kind of left that elbow out there. The interpretation could go either way. But, they actually have been hit 104 times because Jordan Thompson struck out getting hit by a pitch. But it doesn't count because
right.
He swung. But he got hit more than Drew Bianco got hit, and he struck out. Now, that's the conversation that Coach Barbier's having, is they're going to take a look at it because they feel like he left that elbow, threw that elbow out there, and they may have something here.
There's some gray area in the interpretation. It's a difficult call. Essentially, did the ball strike the batter or did the batter strike the ball? If the batter strikes the ball, then it's ruled a no hit by pitch. That's kind of the abstract version. But did the batter initiate the contact and move into the pitch, or did the pitch move into the batter? And where it gets difficult to interpret is what we've just seen, where the batter didn't move. Does he stick the elbow out there? I don't think so.
There's a difference.
But did he try to get out of the way?
There's a difference between sticking the elbow out there.
I don't think he stuck the elbow out.
I think he stuck it.
Well,
I think they're gonna put him back in the batter's box.
I think that's a normal arm movement with a pitch coming.
So you threw your elbow into the ball when the pitch came. Your arms go up and back. They don't go out towards the plate.
Now look, I've been right in every argument tonight. Plus, I've agreed with you.
So you want me to give you this one?
On teams canceling games that mean nothing at the end of the year. I think that's disrespectful, quite honestly.
I think
they're
going to put him back in the batter's box.
All right, I don't think they will.
Jay looks pretty upset for not putting him, for leaving him at first, right?
I told you.
They were both wrong. I messed up. Not only did they put him back in the batter's box, they put him back to tell him he's out. Jay Johnson saying, hold on, hold on.
So I'd like to know what the official explanation is. I mean, that wasn't ruled a strike.
There was 2 strikes at the time that he got hit.
Right.
So therefore, that's what caused the strikeout. I kind of lost track of the count there.
So what are we calling that? A strikeout? Okay.
Yep. Now, is it a backward K or a forward K? I don't know that part. Ooh, there's another hit by pitch. That's 3 for Pearson. Oh, that got him, I thought.
I thought it did too.
I mean, they're going to have to go review it again. They're going to burn a path to that review machine.
They're still hitting LSU players.
I've always passed along a little secret. There are peanut butter crackers and Cokes and such.
Ooh, I don't think it did get him. Watch. From that other angle, which was the best one, I don't think it got him. I think
he sold it pretty quickly if it didn't.
Last bat was
Now, there are snacks and Powerades and things of that sort
Never knew that.
in the umpire's lounge and locker room. So, yeah, you might, if you get a little hungry, you might want to go back for a nibble.
I walked past that thing often before the game. I wish I'd have known that.
Hit by pitch rules. Intentionally moving to get hit is automatically a strike. So that's what they evidently ruled against Bianco, although I don't quite agree with it. If a batter freezes inside the batter's box, he is awarded first base. In other words, if you can't react. If a batter freezes outside the batter's box, he's given a strike. And it cannot be argued, but you can use the video review challenge, and that's what occurred with Bianco at the plate.
So it could have either been a freeze outside the box, because the elbow was definitely outside the box, or they deemed he made the direction towards the ball.
Now the call on the field was hit by a pitch.
Either way, Drew was called out, and then now we've got to look at Pearson. I think the question is whether it hit him or not, and I don't think it did, but we were talking about Drew Bianco earlier. His brother Ben is having quite the season, by the way, at Louisville, I might add, Lynn. In his senior year, hit .280 with 11 homers up there in Louisville.
Good for him. So we await the results of the back-to-back challenge, and here we'll get it right now. He will return to the plate. Will Josh Pearson.
So Jay Johnson calling a timeout, which I don't know if we keep records of offensive timeouts, but they've set a new one this year. LSU baseball has for sure. So calls timeout to have a conversation with Pearson. Probably one of the questions will be, hey, did you get hit by that ball? No, Coach, I didn't. Okay, well, let's talk about the pitcher. You would think that 5 hit by pitches, which is what the Demons have done tonight, would be like a record or a season record. No, not even close. They plunked 8 batters earlier this year against South Dakota State. They're only at 5 officially right now.
That's worth a standing 8 count.
I wonder if that was the first game of the series, because I might not come back the next day if you're an offensive player.
I might not make the return trip up to the Dakotas in fear of retaliation. 2-0 on Pearson.
Believe it or not, that 8 hit batters to South Dakota State, that was the first game of the series. I got to believe it was testy the rest of the way. They played a 4-game series, so I'll have to dig in the machine to see how many hit by pitches were in that 4-game series. South Dakota may not want to ever come back to play Natchitoches again.
3-0 to Pearson. Let's see if he gets the green light. Six runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Demons. 10 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for LSU. 2 aboard for the Tigers. The 3-0 pitch. That hit him.
That's 4 times. Well, I don't know. Yeah, now it's 3. Now it's 3. 3 times. Or 4? I've lost track.
That's 3 times officially.
That's
and
right.
a walk, and he has scored 3 times.
3, a walk, and then the fake out hit by pitch. You know, it's been a great week in the Pearson family. His alma mater, younger brother over at West Monroe High, won the state championship over in Sulphur on Saturday, so they've been feeling good. Not now. Look at that look on his face, like he can't believe it.
He's been hit 3 of the 6 times that it's occurred tonight against LSU hitters. Pinch hitters in that LSU dugout are now trying to hide.
It's the only time ever this year Jay Johnson's looked down the dugout and said, "Hey, so-and-so, grab a bat." And they're like, "Coach, my shoulder. It's not feeling real good. It's tight. Get somebody else."
Dylan Cruz has been hit by a pitch. He's got an RBI single and reached on a fielder's choice. He is 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored.
Anutka in 19 1/3 innings prior to today had hit 10 batters.
My goodness.
Plus whatever he's done since he's come in.
Well, just 1 officially.
Yeah, so 11 hit batters in 20-plus innings this year.
The 6 hit batters tonight brings the Northwestern total to 80 as a staff this year. One ball, 2 strikes. Cruz is waiting. Anutka brings it. And that levels the count at 2.
To give you some perspective, coming into today's game, LSU as a staff had only hit 32 batters.
So
less than half.
Less than half. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. A run in on Joe Bear's 13th home run. And Cruz, with a very courageous take, watches that breaking ball slide a little bit out of the strike zone. The runners will be moving. That's ball 4. And another run scores. So Dylan Cruz walks with the bases loaded, and here comes Trey Morgan. Morgan 7 times this year has come to the plate with the bases loaded. And he has 2 base hits. He's been hit by a pitch, but then again, who hasn't? And the last time up, along with the time preceding, he hit liners to center for RBI singles. This one is chopped to the left side. Sibley comes up throwing to Rowlett. And the inning is done. Braden Jobert breaks out of a home run slump with his 13th of the year. And that gives LSU its 11th run of the game. The Tigers lead by 5 over Northwestern State. The final game of the year in
a good thing you bundled your home, auto, and RV insurance with Progressive. You save money, and you get round-the-clock protection.
So don't worry, it's all under control. That's cool, we'll finish up here.
Bye.
That's why you go to the restroom before the movie starts.
Get epic protection for your Dominion with Progressive.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast is patiently seasoned in a dry rub, including Guajillo chili pepper and brown sugar. Then, slow roasted over real mesquite wood. Your prepackaged turkey plans? Well, they just went up in smoke. Bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
"11 runs, only 6 hits for LSU, 6 runs, 5 hits for Northwestern State." We go to the top of the 5th inning. Ronnie, let's gander at what a lot of people are looking at these days, a lot of conjecture, but this is NCAA tournament resume for LSU, a 33-18 record, one above 500 in the SEC. Over the last 7 days, LSU has given up some ground, 20 spots in the RPI listing. So LSU was 16 a week ago, now 36. 7-13 against top 50 RPI teams. Strength of schedule is number 22. That helps. But there are those who think that postseason play is not as sure for LSU as others think.
Well, I think they can lock themselves up with a win this weekend in Nashville. As far as just win one. If you go win one, you're at 15 wins in the SEC. With their strength of schedule, they'll be in for the NCAA tournament. Won't be hosting, but they'll be in the tournament. But here's a scenario that's the doomsday scenario, and that is if you get swept in Nashville, and then you go to Hoover on Tuesday in the play-in game for the SEC tournament, and you lose that one, that's 7 losses in a row. And with 14 wins, you have about a 35% chance of not getting into the NCAA tournament. You don't want to be a team with 7 losses in a row in conference play going into that boardroom where they're figuring out postseason with 35% chance working against you.
Rowlett at the plate. Gervais works him high and tight, and the swinging miss, 2-1. We will take a little closer look at the SEC and potential seeding following this final weekend. All games start on Thursday in the SEC. Well, here it is right now.
Those are all the teams that are on the bubble. LSU and Ole Miss right there. And, of course, Ole Miss at home against Texas A&M. South Carolina has a chance with 12 wins. If they get it going in their final series, they take on Florida. They've got to win that series against Florida to South Carolina. Maybe even sweep because their RPI is so low at 70.
Gervais has come back to level the count with the past 2 strikes.
Now, LSU's RPI will technically go down tonight, even with a win, because of Northwestern State's RPI being in the 200s. But the next 3+ games for anybody in the SEC, that your RPI has a chance to really go up because the schedule gets so difficult. You know, in Hoover, everybody's RPIs are going to help.
Gervais came on in the 4th. He struck out the first 2 batters. He yielded a base hit to Elkins, but then came back to strike out Willis. The 3-2 pitch. Low and away. So a leadoff base runner for Northwestern State. Well, let's look at the SEC seeding for the tournament, which starts next week. And you're looking at those teams in contention for falling out. If the tournament were to start right now, Mississippi State and Missouri would not be in the SEC tournament. You see Kentucky is number 12. Alabama is number 11. Those are teams 11 through 14 that you just saw on that graphic. Some things could change in that 12th and 13th position this weekend. Larson Fontenot out of Sanamaw, Louisiana, has struck out and singled and scored. This is the first time he has faced Gervais. In fact, it's the third pitcher he has seen tonight in 3 at-bats. A late swing on a good Gervais fastball.
Fontenot's one single was a fastball up and in that he was able to pull through that left side.
Here's the pitch. Hit pretty deep to right field. Pearson is back. Pearson back near the wall. Pearson makes the catch. A step away from the fence in right field. That's the first out.
Well, all you can do as a hitter is hit it hard. That ball was on that outside corner about 92 miles an hour. He went and hit it well. Pearson just so solid for a first-year player. I mean, just technically sound in every aspect of the game.
Jay Johnson is moving out to the mound, and we may have a pitching change here. There is a right-hander throwing. Trent Vittmeyer and Blake Money have been throwing. Money on your right, Vittmeyer on your left.
I would think that they're going to make a move because, I mean, he's reached that 30 pitch mark. You don't want to go deeper than that because you want to have him available for Thursday.
Yeah, I think you're right. My guess is it's going to be Vittmeyer. And it is. So Trent Vittmeyer will come out of the bullpen, replacing Paul Gervais with 1 out and a runner aboard in the 5th inning. If the SEC tournament were to start right now, this is the way it would look. Single elimination in the first round. It would be a Vanderbilt-Alabama matchup, an LSU-South Carolina game, a Florida-Ole Miss tilt, and a Georgia-Kentucky matchup. And then the second round would see Arkansas and Texas A&M and Tennessee and Auburn all waiting for the first round winners. That's what the scenario would be if it were to start today.
Well, for LSU, the best they could do is be a 5 seed. They're going to be a 5, 6, or 7. They can't fall any worse than 7 this week. So that's something to keep an eye on, but it doesn't get you a bye. The top 4 are the only teams that get a bye, and that was what you lost last week when you got swept by Ole Miss, was that opportunity to just automatically start playing on Wednesday.
All games in the tournament are on the SEC network with the exception of the championship game, and that will be aired on ESPN2. Here's Trent Vittmeyer. Vittmeyer out of Pittsburgh. He became engaged to a local girl not too long ago. Local meaning Louisiana.
And no, Trent Vittmeyer is not 30 years old. That's the number he wears. But he does seem like he's been around for a long time and has a very mature way and look about him for sure. You see he's worked a bunch this year, 18 appearances. And I know you've told the story many times about how he wasn't going to play this year. And Jay Johnson, convinced him to come back. Largely his dad, Trent's dad, convinced him to come back. But it's been a wise choice because he's been a valuable piece to this bullpen puzzle.
Vittmeyer's father in the Pittsburgh area owns a construction company. They deal in concrete and masonry work. And Trent eventually is going to take over that business. And he was actually on a piece of heavy machinery when Jay Johnson called him. And Vittmeyer told me that he put the conversation on speakerphone with his father could hear. And Jay Johnson was imploring him to come back. And Trent was on the fence for making a decision during this phone call, and his dad said, "I just fired you, so you better go down and play some more baseball."
Yeah, you can always get to that real life stuff. It's always going to be waiting for you, that job. And
I met Trent's dad in the parking lot on the senior day weekend against Ole Miss, and that's the story he relayed to me. But he was the one who felt like Trent really had the love for one more year, but Vittmeyer was going to go ahead and get on with his life. And he's going to marry a South Louisiana girl. They are going back to the Pittsburgh area. And you mentioned the word mature, Ronnie. I think if you were able to line up the entire LSU roster and have a brief conversation with every player, that Vittmeyer would be the most aged, and I mean that certainly as a compliment. But he's kind of ready and comes from a blue-collar, hard-working family. And we all know the story from the time he stepped on campus that he's a volunteer fireman. And he just kind of has that demeanor about him. Like, here's the work, let's get to it.
Good leader for this team, and a leader of a lot of these young arms, because there are a lot of talented first and second year players on this LSU roster.
Vittmeyer on in relief of Paul Gervais, who went an inning and a third. Sorensen is called out on strikes. Vittmeyer works the fastball over the plate.
Let's see. Set up completely off the corner. Ball actually ran back over the outer third. Travinsky had set up about 2 inches off the outside corner.
That's 8 strikeouts collected by the 4 LSU pitchers. Here's Cam Sibley. Sibley is a Baton Rouge guy. He had a 3-run home run over the right field wall in the 3rd inning. Only his 3rd of the season. That came with Rowlett and Fontenot aboard. Let's go back and look at this swing, Ronnie.
This was hit a ton for a guy who doesn't hit a lot of homers. He's just over a 200 hitter, only had 2 homers on the year. He's known for taking pitches and finding his way on base, but boy, that was a towering shot. I mean, that off the bat, it was a no-doubter.
2 outs, a runner at first. Vittmeyer elevates it and misses. 2-1.
Ooh, okay. A little payback, I guess. Unintentional, of course. This one gets Sibley on the back of the heel. You don't anticipate that being the spot you're going to get hit. For Vittmeyer, Lynn, this is final time, right? That he'll pitch in Tiger State and Alex Box Stadium unless LSU goes on a heater this weekend and in Hoover. So I wonder, you wonder if those things go through your mind. Hey, this potentially could be it in an environment and a place you love.
Jake Hayes at the top of the order has walked and scored. He has struck out and he has bounced back to the pitcher. 2 outs, 2 aboard. Vittmeyer misses wide. Blake Money continues to warm up if necessary for the Tigers, and he may be into this game later no matter what. That's likely. Vittmeyer needs an out to get his teammates back to the dugout, leading 11-6. Vittmeyer throws the fastball.
Hayes with a pretty good rip right there, 2-1. He knew what was coming, was sitting on it, just fouled it off, but put a good swing on it.
The 2-2, it's the make it happen pitch, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Jay Johnson is going to go out and talk with Vittmeyer.
Well, this is, I know, like I said, you're trying to manage pitch count. You don't want to get too many pitches down the line. But he's got a 2-2 count here with 2 outs. I'm curious what this visit is about. I know Blake Money is warmed up and he's good to go, but this would be an odd situation to make a change. Assuming Jay Johnson saw something that he wanted to get across here.
Vittmeyer will remain.
Maybe he wanted to stress, hey, I need you to get this batter. You know, we don't want to extend you any more than we have to after this. Because, I mean, 15 would be a good spot for Vittmeyer to go get some work in, be crisp, get ready for Thursday, and then turn it over to Money next inning.
Once again, the make it happen pitch at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. That looked like an off-speed pitch of some kind.
Straight change by Vittmeyer and a good one.
So Hayes goes down on strikes. Vittmeyer faces 3 batters and strikes out 2 of them. And we move forward. It's 11-6. LSU leading Northwestern.
My name is Gary.
Pastel. Josie. I have MS.
I have MS.
MS is what we have.
I take Ocrevus.
An infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
MS is what we have,
Not who we are.
Not who we are.
Not who we are. Ask if Ocrevus is right for you and join our community.
LSU has given up 6, but the Tigers have scored in every inning so far, 3-5-1-2. and lead by 5. It's 11-6 over Northwestern State. This is the end of the regular season for the Demons, and there are 3 more games remaining for LSU in the regular season. Grayson Gates, the freshman out of Benton, will work here against LSU in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gates has no record and a very high ERA. He's only thrown 1 inning this year.
6'2", 185. The Benton Tigers, former high school, is where he hails from, and big moment for this young man. Opportunity for him to get some experience here in Alex Box Stadium. Big thrill for him.
Austin Kirkpatrick is the new catcher for Grayson Gates. So a new battery, Gates pitching, and Kirkpatrick is catching. That's a one-hopper to the shortstop. Nice backhanded play. And the good stretch over by Rowlett. Sibley gets it done.
Nice.
Doty is retired. He hit this ball hard.
I mean, that ball is hammered. Sibley, even though he got hit on that ankle, his last at-bat, showing no effects, went back nicely, made a good play. That's the second hard-hit ball in the last 2 games that Kate Doty just hit it right at him. I mean, you can't hit it any better, but has had some bad baseball fortune.
Travinsky takes one tight. This is his second at bat. He grounded out to short last time. We play in the 5th. Travinsky sends one deep to center field. This ball is carrying. It's off the bottom of the wall. Travinsky is on his way to second base, and he will stop there with a ringing stand-up double off the center field fence.
Full 86-mile-an-hour fastball just right down the middle. Travinsky. It's the battle of the Shreveport area teams. Travinsky went to Airline High School. Gates went to Benton High School, and former Viking won that matchup.
That was the 3rd double of the season for Travinsky. Jobert last time sent one into the right field bleachers.
Jobert just a sizzler, little liner that just has enough air on it to get out. If not, it went through the fence. It was hit so hard.
A roller to the first baseman is gobbled up by Rowlett. He'll get to the bag for the out as Travinsky moves up to 3rd. And shortstop Jordan Thompson, who singled last time after striking out twice. It's his turn with 2 gone. Breaking ball misses wide. Up in the air it goes. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is the latter. The ball left the yard with plenty of distance. You see the youngsters scrambling for it out beyond the bleachers. But a foul ball into the night by Jordan Thompson.
This ball off the bat was fun to watch because it is a parachute ball. Where is it going to land? And it landed just left of the fair pole and or foul pole, whichever you choose. And he couldn't believe it. From his vantage point over at first base, he thought he might have got one. He knew he hit it far enough.
A runner at third, 2 outs. One ball, 2 strikes on the LSU shortstop. That sweeps wide as well. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Thompson trying to see if he can't get a fastball. He does.
And he rips it into left field. It's down for a clean base hit and an RBI. And LSU has scored in the first 5 innings tonight. Thompson in his last 2 at-bats has singled sharply.
And now 24 RBIs for Jordan Thompson. Having a good year offensively. Average has been, kind of hovering around that 275 mark for most of the year.
So the Tigers have reached the scoreboard for 3 in the first, 5 in the second, 1 in the third, a pair in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth on a 2-out RBI single by Jordan Thompson. And Josh Stevenson will bat. He's walked twice and struck out in between those. He has scored a run. We are in the 5th inning. And have gone over the 2-hour mark, or coming close to it. Well, actually, we are approaching the 3-hour mark. Thompson moves up on the misplay. That'll be a wild pitch. Stevenson with an RBI opportunity. Stevenson is waiting. And that finds the inside corner. We will check some SEC scores for you when we get to the 6th. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a run in on a Jordan Thompson RBI single. Stevenson has had some nice moments at the plate, but Ronnie, he's had difficulty against left-handed pitching this year. He's been much better against right-handers. Not that time, though, as he waves through the offering by Gates for the 3rd out and the first strikeout for Grayson Gates. But LSU adds to its total as we move forward to the 6th inning. It's 12-6 LSU.
Ja Morant, what can't you do?
Wow.
Who knew that Hulu Plus Live TV came with over 75 live channels?
How much is Hulu paying them for this?
Hulu has live TV.
A small red circle. Or is it big? Is it the sun? Or an electron moving at 1,000+ miles per second? One thing we do know. This mystery circle holds ancient powers of subatomic superfood benefits that humanity has only begun to fathom. And you will find all of these powers hiding in plain sight in the cranberry.
When you enter Sunglass Hut, you enter the house of sun where the options are endless. Because sometimes you want to feel bold. You want all eyes on you. Other times you want to create a whole new you, to reinvent yourself. So whether you're all dressed up and on the move, or you're relaxed and just living in the moment, at Sunglass Hut, there's a pair for every version of you. Sunglass Hut. Find every shade of you.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S.
The All-Southland Conference team was released today. Bo Willis, who's been real hot lately for NSU, is a first-team selection. He's the DH tonight. Jonathan Harmon is a first-teamer. Cal Carver is a second-teamer. And Dante Stewart is on the third team. So congratulations to those 4 Demons with postseason honors. Here's Stewart. He has grounded to second. He was robbed of a base hit on a really nice play by Cranford in the 2nd inning at third base. And he struck out in the 4th against Gervais.
I thought Vittmeyer, would be done at 14 pitches. Came out of the bullpen, but they're putting him back in there. And I don't see Blake Money up, so he may have gotten his bullpen and got what he needed. Probably wouldn't want to get Money up to get him re-hot again. This is a bullpen day before they play on Thursday. And that is Devin Fontenot, in fact, warming up for LSU. Just, he'll be the next pitcher in. There you see Devin, who got the start in the 2nd game against Ole Miss, went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs. So he's got to get some work in here tonight.
Vittmeyer faced 3 batters when he came on in the 5th inning. He struck out the first one, he hit the second one, and he struck out the third one. Stewart, Coliani, and Elkins are scheduled to hit. The 0-2 pitch is missed high and away. By the way, with all those hit batters, the most dangerous team this year in all of college baseball is Arkansas Pine Bluff. That team has hit 118 batters this year. Northwestern right now is number 22 on that list. Vittmeyer barely misses. Two balls, 2 strikes to Dante Stewart. He is played as an opposite field hitter. Don't forget, all of the games from Hoover in the SEC tournament will be available on the SEC network, with the exception of the championship game. And that one will be aired on ESPN2. The make it happen pitch. Vittmeyer misses with a pitch that had a little twist to it. A liner right to the chest of the shortstop.
I mean, you can't hit a ball any harder. Thompson didn't even have to move other than out of self-defense right here. Whack. Just a little lean to the right and made that catch, took away a base hit for the Demons.
Number 1 Tennessee walloped Belmont. 18-0 is the final. Georgia scored 18 runs against Presbyterian and won it 18-3. Kentucky scored 13 runs tonight and shut out Tennessee Tech. Florida hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th inning and defeated Florida State 7-5. Mississippi State, which right now would not be in the SEC tournament, got a victory over North Alabama 14-4. Auburn is playing Samford. That's in Birmingham. And in the 8th inning, Auburn is leading 8-2. Vanderbilt has defeated Middle Tennessee 7-2. South Carolina got beat by Charlotte tonight, 8-3 the final. And you are up to date in the SEC. So by this reckoning, this is the only game still in progress in the SEC, with the exception of that Auburn-Samford game, and that's in the 8th.
Good little backdoor slider by Vittmeyer.
And if you missed it earlier, Texas A&M and Incarnate Word were to have played, but Texas A&M said no. Ole Miss said no against Arkansas State, we presume, and Missouri said no against Kansas.
All right, 2 outs this inning by Thompson. Let's see if he can get a third.
Coliani pops it up to the LSU shortstop, and this brings on Elkins. Jeffrey has been hit by a pitch. He has homered, his 12th of the year, and he singled last time. Vittmeyer has pitched well in relief. There's a slider, and a good one. Two outs, nobody on base. LSU's lead is 12-6. Vittmeyer works ahead, 2 strikes.
When he's able to throw 2 pitches, because fastballs, 89, 90, maybe might touch a 91, but when he's had his better years is when that slider is sort of, 2-7 on the dial kind of thing.
Especially when it takes a bite out of the outside corner. The 0-2 pitch is lifted foul out of play.
See if they maybe throw something, a little extra in the dirt, maybe a little outside. That was too much plate 0-2.
Again, the 0-2. Grounded left side. Drew Bianco makes the play from there. It's a 1-2-3 inning. And it's the first time tonight that Northwestern has not reached base. It's 12-6 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in Baton Rouge.
A small red circle. Or is it big? Is it the sun? Or an electron moving at 1,000+ miles per second? One thing we do know. This mystery circle holds ancient powers of subatomic superfood benefits that humanity has only begun to fathom. And you will find all of these powers hiding in plain sight in the cranberry.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S.
When you enter Sunglass Hut, you enter the house of sun where the options are endless. Because sometimes you want to feel bold. You want all eyes on you. Other times you want to create a whole new you, to reinvent yourself. So whether you're all dressed up and on the move, or you're relaxed and just living in the moment, at Sunglass Hut, there's a pair for every version of you. Sunglass Hut. Find every shade of you.
Springfest is back. And right now, you'll find everything your lawn and home needs this season. At great prices for the season. Stop by Lowe's now for your happiest spring.
Well, there's a group of fans having some fun at the ballpark tonight. I'm not sure what all of that is about, but big smiles everywhere. Drew Bianco is at the plate. The redshirt junior out of Oxford, Mississippi.
Did that get him?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Now,
that's the 7th Tiger that's been plunked tonight.
No, they're going to let that one stand because he got hit once before. And they called him out with 2 strikes. Said he stuck his arm out. But I don't think anybody's challenging this one.
$104 plunked batters now for LSU. They came in with 97 and quickly have moved to 104.
And LSU barely has more hits than hit batters. They have 8 hits in the game and have been hit 7 times by Northwestern State pitching. Here's a guy who does not want to see anything middle in, that's for sure.
There have been 9 batters hit on both sides today, and none of that has been in any way retaliation or anything of that sort. It's just been wildness. Pearson at the top of the order has been on base every time. He's been hit 3 times and he has walked. That's a very unusual night, is it not? Hit by pitch, scored. Hit by pitch, scored. Walked, scored. And hit by a pitch and left aboard in the 4th. Cruz is on deck. Gates misses. Gates is the 4th reliever for the Demons. And we have come to the 3-hour mark as we play in the 6th inning.
Yep.
There's a base on balls. Pearson has been on base 5 times.
His on base percentage is going up, that's for sure.
Unofficially, I have 6 walks for Northwestern pitchers plus 7 hit batters. That's 13 gifts. Plus 8 base hits. So that's 21 times that Northwestern has been on base via hit, walk, or hit batter. Cruz takes ball 1. He's been hit by a pitch. He has singled in a run with an RBI. He has reached on a fielder's choice, and he walked with the bases loaded. So he has driven in 2 runs. He has scored 2 runs. That is a foul ball. Next up for Northwestern as the 5th seed in the Southland Conference tournament, it'll be a game in Lake Charles at 1 o'clock on Thursday against Nichols. Next up for the Demons, LSU at Vanderbilt Thursday night. That's a 7 o'clock Central Time game from Vanderbilt. It's on ESPN2. That's Thursday night. Friday night, a 6 o'clock game on SEC Network Plus. And then the final game of the regular season at Vanderbilt on Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's on the SEC Network. ESPN2, SEC Network Plus, and SEC Network.
8.
There's another batter hit by a pitch.
I'm telling you, LSU's coming for Purdue tonight. They are chasing down the Boilermakers,
I
the
have
number
never
1
seen
team
a
in the country.
display like this. LSU is now 2nd in the country in being hit by pitches this year, a tie with Southeastern Louisiana. Well, here are the SEC weekend matchups. This is good stuff. Auburn at Kentucky, Missouri at Georgia, Tennessee at Mississippi State. Boy, it's going to be tough for the Bulldogs to get into the tournament. South Carolina at Florida, Arkansas at Alabama, Texas A&M and Ole Miss, 2 hot teams, and LSU taking on Vanderbilt.
Yeah, all the teams that have to win to get into the tournament have tough matchups, whether it's the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament. There's no easy path. Dan Halad went out to the mound to have a conversation with his freshman right-hander. Halad is a volunteer assistant coach in his 2nd year at Northwestern State. And this is the 2nd time this year that Northwestern State has hit 8 batters. They did it against South Dakota State earlier in the season in a 4-game series. Game 1, they plunked 8 batters.
Trey Morgan will come to the plate for the 5th time. He was hit by a pitch, but then again, who hasn't been? He has an RBI single, another RBI single, and he grounded out to shortstop last time. He has scored twice with 2 runs driven in. That's tight to the LSU first baseman. Morgan lifts it out of play. 3 balls and a strike. And Morgan is aboard. So a walk, a hit batter, and another walk. And that's going to be the end of the night for Grayson Gates, with Cade Doughty coming to the plate. And it looks like Northwestern may bring in Josh Baines. Baines is a senior right-hander, and he will be next. We will step aside for just a moment. More baseball coming your way in a moment with LSU out in front 13-6.
Let's talk about what is professional today. We can flip the script by getting
Professional does not have shape, does not have limits. I've been a janitor, I've been a designer, I've been an executive.
Creating my own seat at the table was doing things different than how it's ever been done before.
It's just like an ebb and a flow. Dad life, work life.
It's all life. There's work, and there's what works for you.
Professional is you, professional is us.
It's ours to define.
Making friends again, Billy?
I like to keep my enemies close.
Guys, excuse me. I didn't quite get that. I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, hey, don't forget about the tense music, too.
Would you say tense?
I'd say suspenseful.
Aren't they the same thing?
Can we move on, guys? Please.
Alexa, turn on the subtitles. And dim the lights. Okay, dimming the lights.
Josh Baines, a senior from Mississippi, is the next hurler for the Demons. They've come frequently. Baines is making his 16th appearance with a +6 ERA, no record. He's pitched in short relief exclusively, 17 2/3 innings, 23 hits allowed. 13 strikeouts against 8 walks. And Baines is reliever number 5.
Now Baines, Central Hines Academy over in Leonard, Mississippi, went to Hines Community College. He was a 6-year letterman, went to a small school, so he played since he was in 7th grade on his high school team. Played for former Northwestern State assistant coach Nick Amorati over at Hines Community College. That's how he found his way back over to Natchitoches.
Doughty waits.
Oh,
he's hit by a pitch.
That's 9. New record. New season high for Northwestern State.
That's the second time Doughty has been plunked. An RBI the painful way. Well, before tonight, Purdue led the country with 108 plunks. And Northwestern has now put LSU at the 105 mark, 106 mark. In second place behind Purdue, just 2 behind the Boilermakers, and 1 ahead of Southeastern Louisiana. I have never seen a game like this.
I don't think I had. And oh, by the way, it's only the 6th inning, Len, just to give you a heads up. I'm telling you, Purdue is not safe.
Oh, no.
Like, if anybody in Indiana's watching, that record might get broken.
This is hit high. It's hit deep with the bases loaded. It is a grand slam home run. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. 11 home runs and a big one there for the LSU Tigers as Travinski comes through. A big moment for him and a celebration for number 25 with his teammates. Hayden Travinski goes the other way and gets all of it.
Well, he's got tremendous power. I mean, this is just basically a towering fly ball that he hits out over the fence. That's his 6th homer of the year and only 59 at-bats. That gives you an idea of his production and the potential there for Hayden Travinski.
A 4-run batted-in swing for Travinski. He had a double in his last at-bat. He came on a few innings ago, replacing Tyler McManus behind the plate, and McManus drove in 3 runs. So that catcher position has been very productive tonight. Oh, come on. Jobert, don't get out of the way.
Could have stayed in there. Gotten us closer to Purdue.
Jobert has homered in this game and driven in 2. He had a sacrifice fly earlier. And the thing about it, these have not in any way been head-hunting hit by pitches. Northwestern's pitching staff tonight has just been, well, frankly, the word is incompetent in that area.
Uh-oh.
This is hit way, way back. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is a fair ball. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. A grand slam by Hayden Travinski, followed by Braden Jobert's 2nd home run of the game. That was a rising line drive, and it appeared to get a piece of the foul pole.
Well, that'll get you back on track if you're, Jobert's average had fallen below 250, and then tonight, 2 line drive homers.
Home run number 14.
That's way up there on the poll.
For Jobert.
That's in the top 25% of that poll.
So in the lineup tonight, LSU with Cruz with 17 homers, Doty with 10. And now Jobert with 14. And that, of course, is in the absence of Jacob Berry. So Northwestern now trailing by 13. 19-6 is the score. The last midweek game LSU was engaged in this ballpark was a 17-3 victory over Southeastern. Now, none of Northwestern's pitchers have been anywhere close to middle or front line tonight. And the Demons have been unable to match LSU in scoring, although they did have a 5-run third with a couple of home runs in that frame. Thompson flies out.
Yeah,
back-to-back home runs by Travinski and Jobert.
The Demons will take on Nichols at 1 o'clock on Thursday over in Lake Charles. So they are saving all their guys for the Southland Conference tournament. We had an idea this could happen, and so did the Demon staff. They knew that this could be an ugly night.
Here's to Giacomo, pinch hitting for Stevenson. It's likely he'll go into the game in left. It's been a while since Giovanni has had a base hit.
Over a month, right?
Close to it, if not that much.
Oh, did that get him? Yes. That's 10 hit batters.
Goodness gracious. Wow. Wow with capital letters.
How about those shoes by Giovanni DiGiacomo? I didn't know he had the palm trees going. Yep, that guy, I think both of them. That should count as Hit batter 7-8. Didn't it ricochet off both?
Well, it got the back instep, that's for sure. Here's Bianco. By the way, you have just seen an NCAA record be tied for most batters hit in a game. The 10 times that LSU has been hit in this game ties the all-time NCAA record.
Wow. And if it doesn't get broken, it's only because of the 10-run rule that could be in effect potentially in this ball game.
There was no pregame agreement, but certainly both coaches could decide no moss after the Demons hit in the 7th. But Northwestern has been plunked 10 Tigers in 6 innings. By the way, Ronnie, in retrospect, that grand slam home run by Travinsky was the first of the season.
Was it really?
By LSU.
Wow. That's hard to believe. All the homers they've hit.
22 years ago, during the national championship season, LSU batters were hit 105 times. Well, here's Alex Milazzo. Good to see him get a bat and have a chance to swing here. As we reported earlier, it's possible that Milazzo might be in the lineup behind the plate at some point against Vanderbilt. And if that is not the case in that Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, it's fairly likely that he would play in the SEC tournament. So Milazzo is making progress in a recovery mode. An off-speed pitch is missed by Milazzo. How about that graphic?
That
just supports what we said.
Boggles the mind.
Ties a single-game NCAA record. Being hit 10 times in 6 innings. Milazzo lobs one to center. That will find grass. That's a nice way to come off the bench after a long, long time in the boneyard.
Well, what's more impressive is that it was on a breaking ball. And it wasn't a bad pitch. This is a good pitch. And Milazzo, known more for his defense and his offense, goes down and gets it.
Here's Cruz. The bases are loaded. That's inside to Cruz. So what, LSU's up to what, 107?
Yep.
Being hit by pitches this year, that's just 3 behind the all-time season record that was set in the year 2000.
No, they're going to break that record.
Maybe tonight. One ball, 2 strikes on Cruz.
They're going to shatter that record. That's a lot more games they played in 2000 than now.
Josh Baines trying to find the strike zone with a 1-2 count. Cruz can't get it. He was a little late on that swing.
He went down and chased one way out of the zone. Nothing fancy there. That was just an 86-mile-an-hour fastball that was down low.
Jack Merrifield is going to pinch hit for the Tigers. So he's batting for Morgan. LSU has scored in every inning in this game. And this has been the most productive inning with 7, including a grand slam home run from Hayden Travinsky. And a following home run by Braden Jobert, his second of the game. He's got 14 now on the year. Merrifield out of nearby Prairieville, Louisiana. 2 outs, a Tiger at every base. 19 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for LSU. I believe this is the most runs that LSU has scored this year. That's a good pitch on the outside corner. Merrifield is caught looking, but the inning is over. Let's look at the back-to-back smashes. First, the one with 3 men aboard by Travinski. A grand slam home run into the right field bleachers, followed by Braden Jobert's second home run of the game. A liner high off the foul pole in the right field corner. We move forward. It's 19-6. LSU leading North.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast is patiently seasoned in a dry rub, including Guajillo chili pepper and brown sugar. Then, slow roasted over real mesquite wood. Your prepackaged turkey plans? Well, they just went up in smoke. Bold Pitcraft slow-smoked turkey breast. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Your father knows about saving money. Everything I'm wearing, I've had since boot camp.
And I just saved on my car insurance for driving safe with USAA.
Auto insurance that flexes with you.
Keep the fit.
That's what we're made for.
Travinski's a 19-6 is the score. There have only been 16 base hits in this game, but 25 runs. And the Tigers have made multiple defensive changes. Let's start with Trey Schaefer, the senior out of Biloxi, Mississippi. He's the next pitcher for LSU.
Trey Schaefer, 7 1/3 innings, the former Southeastern Lion lefty. Got some action here lately. Big strikeout guy, can throw it at one of the 90+ miles an hour, hard breaking ball. Question is just, can he command the zone? But he's earned some playing time of late after kind of being AWOL for a while.
7 1/3 innings is all he's worked this year. And we have been told that this will be the last half inning.
This is Schaefer's 10th appearance of the year. And Northwestern State has put up the white flag on this one, which you can't blame them with such big games coming up this weekend.
Cameron Parikh is batting for Willis.
This is the 4th appearance by Schaefer this month. He did not pitch at all in the month of April.
Northwestern will bat for the final time here. LSU has made many defensive changes. Perhaps the most noteworthy, Ronnie, is Milazzo is in the game defensively.
Wow,
that would seem to indicate that he has returned to health or nearly so. Now, about a month ago, he was in the lineup and was scratched literally at the last second, trying to get a start as his knee flared up. And he's been watching since then in terms of defensive work, but he's in the game now. Milazzo behind the plate.
The interesting thing for Milazzo is Schaefer picks up the Tigers' 10th strikeout of the night is what is his conditioning going to be like back there? You know, in the month of May, can he the moving around? But they haven't really tested him. So physically, can he, you know, catch on back-to-back days if they choose to go that route, or will he just be a late inning defensive replacement?
Miguel Vega will bat for Rowlett. Hayden Travinski is at first base right now. Jack Merrifield is the third baseman. Drew Bianco is in left field, and Giovanni DiGiacomo is in right. Vega out of Tyler, Texas. The big fellow misses.
92 on the gun by Schaefer.
6 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Demons. They've had homers by Elkins, number 12, and Sibley, number 3.
Ooh. That didn't miss by much. Schaefer was a guy, you know, was somewhat in the mix. He was thought of as being, at the time, maybe the second lefty behind Cooper earlier in this year, but then he walked 3 batters against Texas A&M without getting an out in relief, and then they didn't pitch again for another month and a half. But things have gotten a little bit better for him lately, and you can see Jay Johnson giving him an opportunity to get some work, like I said, 4 times in the month of May.
And Schaefer comes inside and hits Vega.
Now that's how many times? That's their third hit?
Yeah, there's 13 overall. But LSU has been plunked 10 times, and Northwestern has been hit 3 times.
I mean, like, Northwestern being hit 3 times is like nothing. You know, like, they've just been hit 3 times. That's a high number. Normally you'd be like, man, they've been hit 3 times. That's a bunch. But tonight, child's play. Jacob
Farrell is the new hitter, batting 143. If you've just joined us, the 10 times that LSU has been hit by a pitch ties a single game NCAA record. And the Tigers are now number 2 in the country behind Purdue. Just 2 hit batters less than Purdue this year. There's a liner, and it's foul. With the naked eye in full speed, I thought that was inside the chalk.
Jacob Farrell sure did. The 6'1", 200-pound sophomore out of Cypress, Texas, by way of Cy-Fair High School. This ball hit a ton. Let's see. Yep. Oh, I saw chalk, didn't I? That looked like chalk to me.
Well, I've been recently chasing flies with a fly swatter for an hour, only to find out it was a floater.
So you're telling me you don't trust your eyes? Is that what that's about?
I'm telling you, I think I need a tune-up.
I'm telling you, I thought we saw a little powder when that ball hit the turf.
So did I. But perhaps everybody's too exhausted to register a complaint. This one is a clean base hit to left.
That tells me that it was a fair ball.
Does it?
Because the baseball gods rewarded Farrell by making it right.
That was only Farrell's 15th at bat this year, with 3 hits now. Here's Austin Kirkpatrick, who was a middle game replacement for Sorensen behind the plate. 1 out, 2 aboard. LSU is enjoying a 13-run lead. By the way, this is the second most runs the Tigers have scored this year. I failed to look back to the first series against Maine. LSU got 21 runs in a game against Maine in the first series of the season. But 19 tonight, that's the most since then.
Now, Kirkpatrick, who started his career at LSU Eunice, where he was a part of that 2018 Division II Junior College World Series championship team before heading to Northwestern State.
19 runs is the most Northwestern has yielded this year, and the second most that LSU has scored. But that's not the story of the game. The 13 hit batters, 10 times LSU has been plunked.
National record.
Tied a national record. And remember, that'll only be in 6 at-bats.
Potentially.
We are told this is the final half inning, unless Northwestern rallies for 13.
Oh, so regardless of the 10-run. No, it has to be a 10-run.
No, it doesn't. It's supposed to be, but... Oh, by the book, it is. But they've already said this is it. DiGiacomo runs to the corner and makes the play. The runner at second base moves forward. That's Vega. And Jay Johnson is going to jog out to the mound, and he's going to make a pitching change.
He's going to get a few boos, too, from a few of the fans that are not happy about delaying this game anymore. It's been a 3.5-hour ball game.
I'll tell you what, though. The pace of LSU games this year is absolutely a dream for any concessionaire working on commission.
Did you do your due diligence and get the statistics to find out if they're making more money this year than last year?
I think per capita they may be. 1 out to go. 19-6 is the score. LSU is leading Northwestern State.
Introducing Gatorade Fit. Fitness starts from the inside out. Get healthy, real hydration. And no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or added colors. Gatorade Fit. Healthy, real hydration. All G.
For Ramirez? Wingstop's boneless meal deal. 20 crispy, juicy wings and 4 of our soul-satisfying flavors with 2 dips and a large fry for just $15.99. Get yours delivered. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Hello, I'm Keegan-Michael Key, an actor known for playing many kinds of characters. Some would say that each role taps into a different aspect of my personality, which is why I use Stitch Fix to remix my closet, because there are many me's. Me.
Work me.
Beach me. Whoa, looking good, me. Thanks, me. With their wide variety of brands and expert advice, Stitch Fix makes it easy to find an outfit that perfectly fits every me.
Devin Fontenot's job is to get the final out here in the top of the 7th inning, with LSU out in front 19-6 in the final game of the regular season in this ballpark. A 2-2 record, a 3.91 ERA, 23 innings of work, 22 hits, 28 strikeouts, 10 walks, 1 start in those previous 18 appearances. Fontenot is 1 appearance away from tying Paul Bertassini as the most actively used LSU pitcher during a career, with 110 appearances, and Fontenot is at 109. So, Ronnie, it's likely that Fontenot, over the course of postseason, will tie or exceed the curveballer Bertassini with the most appearances in an LSU uniform on the mound.
That's a cool stat to own
is.
the rest of your life.
Do you think Paul Bird's record will ever be broken?
I don't think
in college baseball now for
LSU.
most wins at LSU in a single season.
Is it 17?
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean that's a tremendous
now, he
number.
pitched in relief and was a starter.
Mm-hmm. nowadays with, the arm care situation, the ideas of pitching a couple times in a week, as a starter and reliever is very rare. So I think Paul's record will stay forever.
So a base hit for Reese Lapoma. And that extends the game.
Just a fastball, too much of the middle. Nice job by the Demons to keep battling.
And another pinch hitter will come to the plate. This is Holmes out of Livingston, Texas. This should do it. A fly ball to right. DiGiacomo is calling for it. He stabs it. And this game is over. So Northwestern State manages one in the seventh. It finishes with 7. LSU scored 3 in the first, 5 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 7 in the sixth. As LSU reached the scoreboard in each of its 6 at-bats. That's part of the storyline. The other part is this was a national record tying game in that LSU was hit 10 times by pitches from Northwestern's pitching staff. That ties a national record for the most times hit in one game. And remember, this was only in 6 at-bats for LSU. So, Ronnie, the Demons suffer a loss as they get set for the Southland Conference Championship Tournament on Thursday in Lake Charles against Nichols. And Northwestern State will move forward as LSU now will fly to Vanderbilt tomorrow, have a workout tomorrow night, and start that Thursday, Friday, Saturday series to conclude the SEC schedule against the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Question is this the last time LSU will play in Alex Box Stadium this season? And in my opinion, they have to go sweep Vanderbilt. If they only win 2 out of 3, boy, there's a lot of things that have to do in Hoover, and I don't know if it would line up for them with everybody else the way they're playing in the league and around the country. But win the series, but if you can get a sweep, then I think we're going to see the Tigers back here at the box.
Elkins and Sibley had home runs for the visiting team, and the Tigers got back-to-back home runs late in the game as Hayden Travinsky, in a performance that he did not start the game, at a grand slam home run, and that was followed by the second home run of the game by Braden Jobert. He's now got 14, and again, a lopsided victory for LSU, the second most runs the Tigers have scored in a game. That wraps it up. What a pleasure it's been to be with you for an 8th straight season as we probably conclude our LSU-produced action for the SEC ESPN Network. 19-7 the final score. LSU wins it. For Ronnie Rance, I'm Lynn Rollins. Good night from Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field.